First at noon, a live look over St. Peter's Square, now just hours ahead of Pope Francis's funeral. Mourners have been filling the grounds there to pay their respects since Francis passed away on Monday. Now, the funeral will be attended by 50 heads of state and 10 reigning monarchs representing the U.S., both President Donald Trump and former President Joe Biden. Alice Barr has more.
After 3 days of public viewing,
he wanted us to love one another, and he represented that by showing love.
And private mourning for Pope Francis, including a French nun who broke protocol by approaching her friend, the Pope, in his open casket to say goodbye, like some 250,000 others.
Yeah, I prayed for him and his soul.
Tonight, the veil drops, his coffin sealed in an ancient rite before his funeral on Saturday, when Rome officials expect roughly 500,000 people to pack in and around St. Peter's Square. Among them, Renato Yontop Calosi, who had his moment today in the Pope's presence.
Mourning, loss, grief, but also proud because of the work he did.
We first met Renato as a student at Georgetown University. Now studying in Geneva, he made the trip to pray for the Pope and to thank him for engaging in the here and now.
Bringing the people and the church together to help the religion, it overlaps with the environment, with the care for our common home. It overlaps with people.
That as 50 heads of state, including President Trump, fly in for the funeral. Security ramping up for their arrival and for the Pope's procession through Rome, from the funeral to his burial at Santa Maria Maggiore, outside Vatican walls, a first for a Pope in 120 years.
He wanted to be different, and it's a good message of Jesus Christ, like to be humble, and I really love that.
The Vatican releasing this image of the tomb inscribed simply with the word Franciscus, as the faithful mourn and celebrate the people's Pope. At the Vatican, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And we'll have special live coverage from the Vatican for the funeral of Pope Francis. Tune in tonight starting at 10 p.m. on KGMB and KChannel. In New York, former Hawaii resident Luigi Mangione pleaded not guilty today to a federal murder charge in the killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. In the hearing, prosecutors formally declared their intent to seek the death penalty in the case. Mangione has been in custody at a Brooklyn federal prison since his arrest back in December. He already pleaded not guilty to New York State charges. Here at home, Gerhard Koenig, the Maui doctor accused of trying to kill his wife on a Windward Oahu hiking trail, now has a hearing to see if he'll be granted bail. His lawyers say the state has not proven he's a flight risk or a serious danger to the community. His wife says he tried to push her off a poly trail, beat her with a rock, and tried to inject her with needles. A bail hearing is set for May 5th. A bill to ban assault rifles in Hawaii is moving to final votes in the state legislature. A conference committee approved the final form of the measure that would ban the sale or import of semi-automatic rifles and shotguns with magazines larger than 10 rounds. Gun rights advocates say that would make many common hunting rifles illegal.
There would have been provisions put in there for protecting people's magazines, which now, if this bill does go into a law, the people will be turned into felons overnight.
We have one of the lowest rates of gun violence. We're, really happy to continue to have low rates of gun violence, and that's really due to our really good public policy that we have.
The bill now heads to floor votes before the House and Senate next week. Meantime, Honolulu's mayor, police chief, and prosecutor are urging lawmakers to reject a proposal that legalizes sports betting, claiming gambling leads to addiction and financial ruin. A hearing for House Bill 1308 happens today. You have a chance to safely get rid of any unused prescription drugs taking up space at home. Disposal sites will be set up across the state tomorrow as part of National Drug Take-Back Day. The service is free and anonymous. No labels need to be removed. For a list of locations, head to ag.hawaii.gov. They'll be open tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have a new Miss Aloha Hula. After an amazing night in Hilo, Kauai's Jaden Janae Puahaulani Pavao took home the coveted title. Dylan Ancheta joins us now live from Hilo with a recap of all the emotion and excitement. We are Kauai proud today, Dylan.
Hey, aloha. Yes, we definitely are Kauai proud. As you mentioned, Kauai is just over the moon right now. I could practically almost hear all the chihus here from Hilo, all the way from Kauai. But Halau Kale Mokihana Olena Ala has their very first Miss Aloha Hula, Jaden Janae Puahaulani Pavao. She wowed the judges in both her kahiko and awana performances. She absolutely flowed across that stage in her awana. And in her kahiko, her Olelo Hawaii was so strong that she also secured the Olelo Award, and it was incredible to watch. You could feel the money, you could feel the energy, and the people from Kauai, the halau in the back stands, all the way at the top, they were yelling their heads off, so proud when she took the stage. I got to speak with her after she won the title, and she shared that her journey was definitely complicated, it was complex, but it was really centered around her faith, and this is what she said.
I came out here tonight to share my story and to just glorify God through my hula, and I thank Him every day for this talent that we are all given to be here and just represent not only my family, but also the whole island of Kauai. So I'm forever grateful, and I'm honestly speechless, but I'm surprised words are coming out.
And we dance for an audience of one, and that's our Heavenly Father. We glorify Him in all that we do. And faith, right? Faith, we're here, we shared, and I'm just so thrilled and super grateful, super grateful. I know we throw that around a lot, but we are truly grateful. It's been a journey for us the last few months with my health journey, and so we're just so grateful for everyone who has sent prayers to me to stay healthy, because by that it allowed me and our halau to get Jaden prepared for Miss Aloha Hula. And so I am so happy for Hawaii, for everyone across the world, that they get to have her for Miss Aloha Hula.
Grateful is definitely the word for Kumulena Ala, and as we shared earlier in this week, Kumulena Ala also opened up recently about her battle with pancreatic cancer. She successfully completed her last treatment in December, and she said that while that was a big challenge leading up to this Merry Monarch, it brought them together as one halau, truly an ohana there. So we are so happy for the ladies from Kauai, especially Jaden. We're excited to see what she does with the title of Miss Aloha Hula going forward this year. Now, coming up later in This Is Now, we will have a very special performance and an interview with the Hilo hometown halau, so stay tuned for that. Ash?
Hey, thanks, Dylan. Let's take a look at our first alert forecast in our tower cam outside. It has been very foggy throughout this morning and yesterday. All of the fog and sulfur dioxide from the most recent episode of the eruption at Kilauea has moved across the entire island chain. You can see it very clearly off towards the reef runway right there. South-southeasterly winds outside around 10 miles per hour, 83 right now, so a little bit warm even though it's a little bit cloudy out there. We're still expecting some cloud cover throughout the rest of this evening. By the time we get to 4 to 6 p.m., 83 degrees at 4 p.m. And as the sun starts to set around 80 degrees, we'll be in the green, seeing fair weather across most of the state today. In our first alert fog forecast, you can really see all of that fog blanketing across the entire island chain. This is going to continue throughout Sunday as well. We've got light winds expected all the way into this weekend. Notice a little bit more easterly over near Hawaii Island, 18 mile per hour southeasterlies in Hilo, 10 mile per hour south-southeasterlies in town. I'll give you a full breakdown on this in my full forecast coming up.
Thank you, Drew. New at noon, Honolulu Crime Stoppers needs the public's help in locating 90-year-old Mitsuru Yamaguchi. HPD says he suffers from a medical condition and his family is concerned for his safety and well-being. Yamaguchi was last seen at his Waipahu home on Awanui Street on March 27th at around noon. He's described as 5 foot 7 inches tall, about 165 pounds, with gray hair and brown eyes. If you see him, please call police. Happening now, runners taking part in the Maui Marathon can now start picking up their race packets. The Race Expo just opened at the Westin Maui Resort and Spa in Ka'anapali. The public is also invited to attend the event, which goes until 6. It'll also be open tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The run is this Sunday, so drivers take note. Lane closures start at 5 Sunday morning. The course starts and ends at the Outrigger Ka'anapali Beach Resort. Expect slower traffic along Honoapi'ilani Highway from Ka'anapali to Papala'ua Wayside Park. Ahead on This Is Now, the Iolani Fair returns this weekend, and organizers say the celebration will be out of this world. Casey Lund takes us there when we come back. Hula Halau are preparing for the group Hula Kahiko competition tonight, which is all about the ancient style dances. Dylan Ancheto joins us live now from Hilo with some perspective from the hometown Halau. Hi, Dylan.
Hey, aloha. Welcome back to Hilo. We are in the Grand Naniloa lobby right by the bar. As you can see, there's a lot of people here making their way through the craft fair. But as mentioned, tonight is Kahiko night. It is the first night of our group competition. And while we are so excited to see all of those halau take the stage, I am honored to have the company of a halau that is not competing this year, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to proudly present to you na kumuhula of Halau Kalehua Pua Kamaehu, Kumu Casey Pohala Kaleohano, and Brandy Nohelani Barrett. How are you guys doing?
Aloha.
How's it?
Aloha.
So, first off, I want to talk to you folks about your halau legacy. We know this is the legacy halau of Kumu, the late Kumu, Uncle Johnny Lamho. Talk about his legacy and what it means for you.
Wow, that's a big question. Uncle's legacy is definitely one that runs deep and far and wide. I mean, he was part of the Merry Monarch Festival since the beginning. We were both fortunate to dance with him for many, many years. I don't want to say how many years because that's going to give away our ages. But, just to be able to learn from him, not just hula, but just his character, what he stood for, the things that were important to him. And we hope to carry those things on with our students.
And what were some of those things?
He was definitely a faithful man, and Keakua was very important in our halau. And
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the question.
What was important to Uncle Johnny?
Oh, God number one. Yeah.
As the sign says, praise the Lord, right?
Absolutely.
Uncle Johnny has such a distinct style. When his performers took the stage, it was so clear that was Uncle Johnny's girl. Can you talk about that style that you folks are carrying on now?
Definitely very creative. One of Uncle's big things, he wrote many of his own mele. He had a definite vision for what the hula should look like to tell the story. And the expectation was that the hula would kind of portray the story. So a lot of expression, a lot of movement. I mean, if it was a lava flow, it needed to look like a lava flow. If it was a manu, it needed to look like a manu. So definitely, I would say people would say he was very creative, imaginative, innovative in some aspects. And so the expectation was that your hula needed to tell the story.
Well, we miss him. It's been about 3 years since his passing, right? What a great man Uncle Johnny Lamho was. I want to ask you folks now about what it is like to be a hometown hilo halal, especially during Merry Monarch. How does that feel, the responsibility? What's that like?
Well, it feels good this year that we're not competing, to be honest. The past 2 years was pretty difficult and, hard, being that we went straight into it. Really like straight into it. So it's really nice to just sit back and watch everybody else and enjoy.
Absolutely. I think this year I don't think we went to a craft fair in the last 2 years, so it's nice to be out and about and enjoying all of the additional festivities, not just the competition, but the craft fairs, the food, the live music, the other hula performances. It's absolutely amazing.
Stunning. Well, thank you folks so much. Really quickly, can you tell us, we're going to see a live performance from some of your dancers. What are they going to be dancing about?
Okay, so they will be dancing one of Uncle's more, I think, well-known compositions, Mohala Kahina, no? And they will be accompanied by two of our halal musicians who are wonderful musicians in their own right, Mark Yamanaka and Hewa Olusai Tutwa.
Well, we are so excited to see that. One of Uncle Johnny's signature numbers coming up right here on This Is Now. We're going to be ending the show with that, so you don't want to go anywhere. Stay right here. You're watching This Is Now. We'll send things back to the studio.
Hey, thanks, Dylan. Stick around. Coming up after the break, we'll walk you through our exclusive vlog forecast and give you the forecast for the rest of the week.
First Alert Weather with Drew Davis.
Well, happy Aloha Friday, everybody. We made it to the weekend. Of course, it's a little bit foggy out there. We've got Kona winds in store throughout today, a little bit more easterly over the weekend, but still slightly southeasterly, and fog still blanketing the entirety of the state. Let's just take a look outside. You can see again, overall southeasterly flow, 18-mile-per-hour southeasterly is recorded at the airport in Hilo just a little while ago, so a little bit breezy at times with these Kona winds, and in town around 10 miles per hour out of the south-southeast in Lihue, around 13 miles per hour out of the south. A quick look at our first alert fog forecast. Again, all of this fog is going to continue to blanket the state across the entire island chain. So Maui County, Oahu, and Kauai will continue to see fog. It might get a little bit less thick out there as we're going into Saturday and Sunday. Of course, the highest concentrations of fog still around Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. Current air quality, that graphic sometimes hasn't been updating, so I don't want to show you the incorrect information there. Here's a look at our Pacific weather pattern. Our flooding threat has ended for Kauai. That disturbance that we've been watching off to our northwest moving away. The flood watch was canceled by the National Weather Service. We still have southeasterly winds out there throughout today, slightly more easterly this weekend, and a couple of pop-up afternoon showers are possible throughout the afternoon when it's the hottest part of the day today. Slightly hazy conditions are expected by this weekend. All of that fog continuing to blanket across the state. Here's a quick look at our surf and shoreline forecast out there. North-facing shores around 0 to 2 feet. West-facing shores 2 to 4. South-facing shores around 3 to 5. East-facing shores around 2 to 4 for this afternoon. And just a quick look at our first alert wind cast going forward. We've got overall light winds, sometimes a little bit variable at times. This is Saturday morning around 10 a.m., 9 miles per hour in Kahului out of the northeast. So light enough to where we're seeing variable winds. The reasoning for that, with this southeasterly flow, we typically see some of the winds blocked by the Hawaii Island summit. So light winds, pop-up showers are expected, and you can see that disturbance still off to the northwest. This is Friday throughout the rest of this afternoon. Still some moisture just to the northwest of Kauai, but really not impacting the state very much. And there's those pop-up showers that we were talking about. So again, we could see some rainfall throughout each afternoon, maybe a pop-up showers, potentially even over leeward areas. Here's a look at our first alert 7-day forecast. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is still a little bit hazy out there, but sunny overall. A better chance for showers on Monday and Tuesday.
Thank you, Drew. It's one of the most anticipated events of the spring. The Iolani Fair is back with a new theme that's truly out of this world. Casey Lund is at Iolani School, where the cosmic craze is launching into orbit this weekend.
Get in here, get in real close. This is my intergalactic turkey leg. How do they make it so good? I want to ask Stella Lee that. The turkey leg, it's a staple.
This is our fair staple, the jumbo smoked turkey leg.
Yeah. How do they cook this? And it's okay if you don't know, but it's delightful.
I think we sear it, but the fair, our adult fair chairs would know more about it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I want to ask you, you're a junior. What's your role here? Everybody has a job, right? I'm always curious.
Yes. We're all juniors here, so we're the food division student chairs. So we help prep all these foods. We help cut the cabbage, we help store them, and then we help the alumni make it more comfortable and easier for them to access these during the fair.
Why don't I have you tell me about the mochi sadas?
Yeah, so this year we're actually featuring the mochi sadas because, as you can hear in the background, we got our student center under construction. So we don't have a place for our malasada dough to rise. So we're featuring mochi sadas instead, which take the sugary deliciousness from the malasada, plus the delicious mochi chewy part of it, combine them together. We're selling them with regular and custard today.
Okay, and Brendan, I'm gonna hand you over the mic, okay? I want you to tell me the hours for the Iolani Fair, and as a junior looking back, what it's like for you to kind of help lead these kids as taking this event over.
Yeah, so the Iolani Fair goes from noon to 10 from today and tomorrow, and as a senior, I'm super excited. I'm getting flashbacks of trying my first malasada live, and I'm super excited for them to try it too.
Okay, I'm telling you, this is the first time I've ever had one of these. Shannon, shall we? Cheers, my friend. Of course, everything. Delightful. It's all happening at the Iolani Fair, baby. Today, tomorrow, from noon to 10, each day. Details, by the way, IolaniFair.com. We'll send things back into the studio for now. Ooh.
Thanks, Case. Still to come, our Merry Monarch coverage continues with a live hula performance from Hilo. We'll be back in 2 minutes. everybody. Let's end the week on a good note. Let's take you live back to Hilo, where Dylan is standing by with a special performance. Take it away, Dylan.
Hey, aloha. We are back here live at the Nani Loa lobby with some close friends of ours. Guys, let me tell you, Merry Monarch is one big party all week long, and now that it's Aloha Friday, kicking off the group competition, we're extra excited, aren't we? Real quick, I want to ask, where are you from?
Vero Beach, Florida.
Where are you from?
Hilo.
And of course, my grandma, all the way from Kauai, everybody. Now, like I said, we're having so much fun here. I actually want to thank all of you folks for coming out here, everyone here in the lobby of the Nani Loa. And I also want to share with you a beautiful performance by the ladies of Halau Kalehua Puakama Ehu and their musicians, Mark Yamanaka and He Uaolu Sai Dudua. Take it away.